Live. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 52. We got 1 year down on the Ask Dr. Zaino show. And I just want to thank you all for being on here. Thanks for all the awesome questions, guys. And everybody was early. We got a dozen people in here already and they're still pouring in. So we're going to get to those questions in just a second. Thank you so much for those. So you're watching live, by the way. It's at chirothoughtleaders.com/ask-dr-Zaino. Just memorize that or set it a bookmark on your computer. That way you can be there every Wednesday, 8 p.m., and you can join us. And you'll notice last week we were at Starbucks. This week my internet is working, so I am back at the house. And any questions that you have, join us on the chat roll. Put those in. We're going to get to those in just a second. And of course, I never want to leave out all of the social media buttons. Hit them, like them, tweet them, G+ them, share them, pin them, all of those great things. So Dr. Zaino, what's up, my man? How's your day?
The day was awesome, crushing it like usual. So we're here with Timmy D. Come on, Tim. So if you guys, this is Tim.
What's up, Tim?
Can you see him, Tim? Yeah, there he is. So If you see Tim, all the We Are Heroes episodes you've been seeing, that's because of Tim, Jacob, the editor, and Mac Daddy. So it's Timmy D, Mac Daddy, and Jake. We need a name for Jacob. Does he have a name?
No, we don't. I don't have
because Jacob, the editor, is he sounds like a cobbler.
Right.
Jacob the cobbler. We call him the cobbler. Let's just do him the cobbler. All right. So this is weird. We're documenting everything, guys. We're glad you're enjoying them, and let's just push for more. Let's get thousands and thousands of people to do what the show's about. So it's just not documenting the journey, but it's also, if you can see, it's top production quality, and it's something that gives chiropractic a great light because it's part of our lives. So that's how we support each other. Don't be hating, just support. And then thanks so much, guys, for 1 year. This is our 1 year anniversary with Ask Dr. Z show. So please submit your questions, and also I'm on Facebook Live too. If you just go to under Chiro Thought Leaders. So let's have some great questions. The content's going to be amazing. On anything you want. Remember, it's a question about anything you want to talk about. It doesn't have to be related just to chiropractic. It could be anything. Let's go back to it's anything you want to talk about. And so, Tabor, let's go.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to show you what the first question is here. How do you stay motivated? Or if you have some adversity, what do you do to get it back, to get your motivation back?
My drive comes from my why. My drive comes from my why. I'll say it again. My drive comes from my why. The deeper your why, the better the drive. That's how you stay motivated. Like 4:30 in the morning feels the same way 4:30 in the morning feels to you. Guaranteed. 100%. Like we all exactly feel the same way. And that's the thing. So when you have a deep why, you have a strong drive. And number two, you're courageous. Superheroes are courageous. And what courage means is they do things that it all feels crappy. 4:30 in the morning and doing all the things we do, it feels the same way, but we go ahead and we do it anyway. Yeah. So that's where the drive comes from. And adversity, I love it. I love that because when I have adversity or something, there's something, it actually breaks the monotony of my life, and it gives me something to fight and create excitement over. So I love adversity. I love it. It's exciting, right? Because otherwise I really do have a very structured, non-sexy, mundane life, but that's the successful life. I'm not hitting home runs every day.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, Tony Robbins makes sense whenever he says we need that, what is it? We need certainty, uncertainty. Exactly. It's like, we go through life, like certainty would be like, man, I'm doing great. I'm doing every day. I'm doing the same thing. I'm adjusting. I'm making money. But then all of a sudden it's like, that gets like monotonous. I mean, it's like I need some uncertainty. I need to switch it up. I got to change it or whatever. So then it's like, so how does that tie in with your motivation? You know what I mean? Because I know that every chiropractor out there, you go to work and you know how it is, Zaino, you work harder than anybody. Like you go in and you get to the grind, but then some days you're just like, or you wake up at 4:30, you're like, I really don't feel like doing it, man. But then at the same time, there's got to be some kind of uncertainty that you look forward to as well. that keeps you pushing or keeps you going, you know?
Well, my patients keep it uncertain, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what you're going to get thrown at.
Yeah.
And then it's just the experience. But go back to the adversity things. You know why? Here's the thing. The reason why I'm saying I love adversity and this and that, it's not because I didn't at one point, and I hated it. I was the same way. But what I saw is after a few kicks in the balls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I became better.
Yeah.
I became better. Then I realized, so you have some adversity and you get better.
Right.
So like, well, was that luck? And after about 5, 10, 20 times that, because remember, seeing the patients I do, I go through the same hits you do, except times 10. So my learning curve of adversity is through the roof. So after plenty of adversity, you start to get the hunch that, well, wait a second, this sucks in the moment, but I'm really getting better and better every time I have like a little stumbling block. And so now that's why, so I understand that now. So when it does happen, my perception is that the bump in the road, it's self-awareness. It's something that has to change or be tweaked, and you're always better at it. So I did a show on failures, and really I don't have a failure. In the micro, it might seem like one, but in the macro, it is absolutely life-changing and life-giving going through that process. So that motivates me to keep going through it, because I know at the other end of it, I'm going to be way better.
You know, since you've turned me on to the Darren Hardy episodes, like this morning, he actually talked about how he gave thanks to a coworker that when he quit, he was making, like, I don't know if it was millions, but he was making top money in real estate. Yeah, it was like, I think it was millions. And then he wanted to get out and get into this speaking and like personal growth. And his coworker said, you'll never, ever make the kind of money you're making here. You're making a huge mistake. And he's like, that drove me, you know? And I think sometimes your adversity or your critics or those types of things, you can flip that and use that for energy to drive you as well. So
yeah, because even Darren believes like a lot of purposes. Not everybody thinks your purpose has to come from something that's very lovey-dovey. And serving and this and that. But a lot of purposes come from things that you hate. Like look at Jim Temple in the Vaccines Revealed. Look what he did there. It wasn't because he loved that, because he stood for something that he despised him. So your purpose would come from, anger isn't bad. What's worse than anger is apathy. When you're apathy, not empathy, apathy means you're just conformed and you're indifferent. Apathy sucks. So I'd rather have you be angry and use that energy to move, to fight for something, than to be apathetic and just kind of be like, Holly. Yeah. All right, good question. Next.
Awesome. Great question. All right, next one here. Hey, fellas, love the show. Love We Are Heroes. Quick question. I feel like I've been hitting my groove with dinner talks. I'm getting more people to sign up for paid appointments now. With that said, when I have a couple who comes in from a dinner, then to a doctor's report, and then to a financial where the price tag's like $6,000, plus it seems to be a hard conversion, whereas when it's only one person, it's much easier to convert to care. Any thoughts or help on this?
It's all in your head, dude. You just told me you think it's like, why? Okay, you say one person's easier to convert than two, but actually when there's two people, why don't you, like when you have two people, aren't they paying less than the price of one person per care plan, right? So I guarantee when you have a couple, they're paying less for each person than they were for one person. So they're actually paying less. See, it's the way you're looking at it. So this is a you issue, and because it's in your heart, you have a you issue, then this is why you're going to run into issues with families and couples. I'm telling you, it's you, and it's good. I love you for this, but you got to understand, like once you see that it's you and it's your thinking, then you have it. This is the thing, because if I sign someone up for $3,500 and then the couple comes in and it's $6,000 per couple, they saved $1,000. So to me, when a couple signs up, I'm like, wow, they got $1,000 off, let's say, right? Or to me, it's like they got a sick deal. Number one, $6,000 to get their health back is a ridiculous sick deal, and awesome deal, healthy deal. And then the fact they get a huge discount. See that I'm thinking, I'm almost a little upset that it's so cheap. You see my frame of mind, and I feel that. See, I'm not just saying it. I'm not giving you good talk here. Like I feel that. So this is why the words and the systems, you got to do what works for you. And if you feel that that's too much money, you have a value problem, and that's what you're portraying. You don't think your care is worth 6,000. You don't, honestly, because you wouldn't feel that way.
Right.
And so that's why I need you to just, you know what? You know, one thing will get you out of it, and promise me you'll do this. And I think your wife will. I don't know if you're married. Hopefully you are. I mean, if you are, if you're not, it doesn't matter. What I want you to do, today's Wednesday, tomorrow, I want you to go out and I want you to take $6,000 and invest it in yourself. Buy something that's healthy for you. You know, buy a sauna. I don't know. Just invest in your health. Take $6,000 and do it. And the fact that you did it automatically qualifies you to asset of somebody else. Because I really think deep down, because you think that's a lot of money, because you're basically feeling deep down inside, if you had a chiropractic care plan approached to you for $6,000 for you and your wife, if you have one, you wouldn't do it. You would think it's too much money.
Right.
Deep down. And I know you would say different. He'd probably say different for everybody, but you know, deep down, you probably think it's too much money. So if you go and do it yourself and become congruent and you pay, go out, invest in, I mean, get a garden in your backyard, pay $6,000, get a sauna like I have in there, invest in your health. And then when you present finances, someone says they don't have the time and the money. Like, what do you mean? I did it, right? So you become congruent, and that's the way that you break through the scarcity. It's a scarcity barrier. You will break through that. The way you break through it is you hit it head on by doing it for yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, 100% agree. And I even think the fact that you would give them a little bit of a discount is an incentive for them to both get care right there. And that means, and I commend that, even though, you know, for me, I do that because I want to build a family practice. And so if I didn't care to build a family practice, then I wouldn't give a little bit of a discount for that second person. But I do. So I'm like, because some people will be like, no, we'll get her fixed and then I'll wait. No, look, if you do it now, you'll save money. If you do it later, you won't. So, it's really, you're helping them. You're giving them a great deal by doing that. So, all right, let's see here. I'm going to go to next question. How do I increase urgency to a doctor's report, especially if someone does not have any active symptoms?
You teach them the principle, because your doctor's report is not based on symptoms.
Yeah.
You teach them the principle. You know, here's the thing. You know what I think a great way of communicating is, because you're trying to create urgency in chiropractic and subluxation and nervous system. And for that person, it may be the first time, they heard that. So what you have to do is you have to take the unfamiliar and make it familiar. For instance, here's my urgency one. I go, listen, guys, you're going to go back there and you're going to see subluxations on your spine that have been blind spots for the majority of your life. And the thing is, you didn't even know it was there. And I go, and no one wants to know they have a problem. It sucks. No one likes to know they have a problem, because it means you have to what? And they're like, fix it. I'm like, absolutely. I go, so look at it this way. If I put your car up on a lift, right? Everybody gets that, right, Tabor? I put the car up on a lift and I say, ma'am, you have an oil leak. Your brake lines are leaking fluid out of them, and you have 7 nails in your tires right now. Like, you don't like knowing that it's there. But even though you don't like it and it's scary, you're empowered to do what? To do something about it right now. Because the thing is, when you have that damage, whether you knew it was there or not, you're going to have to pay for it, right, Tabor? So when you look at that spine, or when you look at that car with leaking brake lines and leaking oil and 7 nails in your tires, you have 100% guarantee you're going to pay for that in some way, shape, or form, right? So you either pay for it now when you're in control and that you didn't go on that road trip. Because the thing is, those nails and that bleeding brake line, that doesn't care that you just got done buying a house, or you go on vacation next week, you're going to go on a road trip. See, disease doesn't care about that, but you're going to have to take care of it. You're facing it. So you're going to reach in your pocket and pay for it. So I could either pay to correct my car now, or if you told the mechanic, hey, you know what, listen, I'm not going to do anything about it now, just drop it down and I'm going to take my chances. I go, what's going to happen is you're going to end up either along the side of the road with a broken down car in a car accident, that'll harm you or your family or other families. And the thing is, when that happens later on, do you think it's going to cost less or more money down the road if you didn't take care of it? Or what do they say?
More,
right? So the urgency here is this. I know you don't want to see that there's a problem on your spine, and your spine destroying your health. I know you don't even want to believe it, but the fact that it's there and you could see it, and whether you believe it or not, the fact that it's there and you see it, you're gonna have to take care of it. Like, you're not escaping this. I even do this. I go, if I shut the view box off on your spine, did the problem go away? They're like, no. I go, so if you walk out of here with excuses and reasons who's the only person you're harming? They're like, myself.
Yep.
You see, so you see how when I'm explaining it, I have to explain something that's familiar, which is what? Everybody know a nail in your tire, right? When you, Tabor, when you get a nail in your tire, is it in a convenient or inconvenient time?
Always inconvenient.
And then you got to go to the freaking tire place and drop a couple $100 that you didn't want to.
Yep.
And when do you do it, Tabor? Do you say I'm going to do it next week, or when you see the nail, what do? You
got to do it. You got to do it.
Like, so you'll miss work,
yep.
right? Like, well, I got to get this nail. Like, it is an urgent, has to be done. I dropped everything, and I do it now, and that's a nail in your tire. Yep. And I show them the X-rays. I'm like, see that subluxation? That's the nail in your tire.
Right. Yep.
But I'm matching there. But if I just Tabor, if I talk to you about you have a condition called verbatim. You got something we call a verbatim in your back muscle, and this verbatim causes problems down there. Like, you're like, what the hell's a verbatim? Like, it's so new to you. You're not going to really attach urgency to something, no matter how great you explain it. So you have to explain it in ways that people understand. I mean, Jesus did it the best, right? Why don't we learn from that? When he would go to a town, if there were farmers, he talked in what type of language?
Farmers.
Yeah, he talked like farmers. When he talked to the fishermen, did he talk about pipes and or I don't even know if they have pipes, but like he talked about fishing.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean, he didn't talk about the science of this. Like, he talked their language, and he talked things that were familiar, and they understood it.
That's exactly.
I don't know. We don't have to get. That's a problem with. There's too much educated constipation in a chiropractor. What I love about chiropractors, and it's like, and all your technique Nazis, is they think they are doing the work. It's so funny. Like, they have such a chip on their shoulder that they really think that they're healing the body, or they have this thing. You're not. We're removing interference, and the body heals. Like, I don't do clear, I don't do CVP, and I don't do Pedibot. I do my own little mix. But the thing is, how do I have 1,000 testimonies of miracles happening for the body healing itself? But you could correct you could get the curve bent back where it needs to be, and there's no testimony. Or how can I have someone that their body healed of this or that on their own? I didn't heal it, but their curve only maybe corrected a degree. See, so it's remove the subluxation and allow that body to heal on its own, and just keep it simple, and don't try to show off with fancy terminology. I think people don't like that. They like someone who could talk the truth and make sense.
Yeah.
That's why the dinners have been extremely successful, because you can't listen to me and say, well, I was over my head. It's just, this is it. It is as real could be.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Next question.
All right, and you know what? One little thing I was going to add to that was, from a marketing standpoint, was when I started just simply explaining to them, the first visit is not the important one. It's the second one. The doctor's report is the most important visit in my office. And I explained that to him in the dinners, that the first visit is just gathering information. The second visit is actually when we sit down with you and we go over that. So make sure in your marketing, when you're actually telling them what they're going to be doing, or over the phone where you say it's a 2-visit process, that you're telling them the second visit is the most important visit. So they know that in advance. At least in my opinion, that's smart to do. So let's see. Another question here. And by the way, I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties, what I'm getting from somebody. If you refresh the page on chirothoughtleaders.com, it is there now, and hopefully everybody is still all right with that. I don't know what happened, but somebody said we dropped for just a second.
Dropping bombs.
Dropping bombs, exactly. Dropping bombs on our 1-year anniversary. Do you discuss medications on a one-on-one basis with your patients? If not, is it addressed, or when is it addressed? What you got there?
It's from my Facebook Live, people.
Oh, okay. Do you address medications?
No, this is what I do. Because here's the thing: if you don't want the board up your ass, because it's, even though you got to tell them the truth, I tell them this. I'm like, listen, you're on a ton of medications, and the truth is, your body will never be able to heal with those medications interfering with it. Total truth. I'm not prescribing. I say I can't prescribe your medication. I go, but your body's never going to be able to heal with the chemical in the body. I mean, whether I drink cyanide or took Lipitor, I'm putting a toxicity into the body. Everybody gets that. I go, so I need you to do this. I need you to go to your medical doctor and you tell him this. I am making changes in my life. I've been making some changes and I would like your help to get me off the medication and monitor me. And the doctor will probably say, yeah, but when you get bad, I'm gonna have to put you on again. You're like, I totally know, but I'm making some changes in my life. I'm making a difference. And I would like you to get me off the meds and monitor me in doing that. And it respects the medical doctor because they're going to him, or him or her saying, listen, I'm making some changes, monitor me, so they're not losing their patient. And that patient is not going to get resistance that way. And then we get our way by setting that person up to get off their medication.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, and of course, you know, and I used to say, well, if it were me, and then I'll still do that. But see, I got to be careful what I say, because what I say, I don't want to get anybody in trouble for saying, well, Zaino said that, so I'm not going to tell you. And yeah, I may tell people that statin's a bunch of crap. It's going to destroy you. And like my conviction's so hard on how ridiculous meds are. I think people, you know, take control of their health because it's their body. But I tell them, you know, those people that are on the fence, I say, go to your medical doctor and you let them know you're making some changes and that you would like their support. And I go in, if they support you, great. But if they don't support you, you find yourself another doctor. So because if the doctor, if that medical doctor really cared about you, they'd be supporting you. But if they don't, then that's a sure sign that you need to run as far as possible away from that person.
Right.
Oh, and it's not like a medical doctor ever told your patient never go see a chiropractor and definitely don't let him touch your neck. Right? I mean, they say that every freaking day, but I don't get mad. I empathize with the medical doctor because you know what? When someone says, well, my medical doctor said for you not to touch my neck. I'm like, if I was your medical doctor, I'd say the same thing too, because there's a lot of chiros out there. You could go down to the joint and they don't take a picture of your spine and they manipulate your neck. Yeah, I'm all for it. I think they're telling you good advice. I go, thank God I took pictures and thank God I know what the heck I'm doing, because I'll be able to take care of your body more than anything else. And I go, and also your doctor doesn't know me and doesn't know what I do. But I don't blame him. I go, so not knowing who I am, I think he gave you good advice. So how about that? I say, yeah. I agree. I wouldn't let any other doctor, I wouldn't let anybody touch your neck either. Thank God I know what the heck I'm doing.
I like that, dude. I like that.
You see what I mean? Like,
yep.
I'm done having us on one side and the medical doctors on the other side. Because I really empathize. The medical, it's not their fault. They're just doing their job. They're crisis doctors.
Right.
They don't hate us. In fact, it's so funny. Like, they don't even really care about, like, it's not that they hate us. They're not like, you know what? They're spending $50 million a day in advertising. They're doing a great job of getting their product out there. And then we're complaining about them. And we're busy about filling a stadium with people for a chiropractic thing. But, you know, why don't you just if you're so against medicine, why don't you advertise and spend a couple $1 million a day? And maybe you'll make an impact. Everywhere I go to the mall, I go everywhere. I see their advertising. They're great marketers. They're getting their message out. I respect that. I don't respect the profession of medicine, but I do respect their marketing skills.
Yep, absolutely.
Everybody knows that. The commercials tell them they go to the doctor and ask for the drugs. They do a great job.
Oh yeah, they hammer the market.
And here I'm sitting. Imagine sitting in your office complaining about that, and they're hustling.
Yep, exactly right.
That's why they're winning.
Yep.
Sorry. So that's why I do the dinners, Tabor. That's why you do the dinners, because that's my way of evangelizing. Tabor, if you and I did a stadium, if we did a talk for 4,000 people right now, and 3,000 wanted to come in, let's say 2,000, let's say you sucked, and 2,000 wanted to come in, would you be able to do that with your two offices?
No.
Absolutely. Eric Naputi watching this, who's the highest volume guy I know, couldn't be able to handle 2,000 people at one shot. He tried, and that guy was trying to the bone. But so how about this? When I think of the dinners, my dinners are this. I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to even do that story because it's, but I'll talk to 3,000 to 4,000, maybe 3,000 people a year through those dinners weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll slowly be able to take care of all of them who want to come in. So you see, in the long run, in the long game, I'll be able to see and take care of more people with with 52 dinners a year than one bang out event of 3,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome. Good stuff. Let's see what we got here. Good evening. When you have a patient who has previous chiropractic care from another office, how does that affect your recommendations or your communications with them?
They're in my office now.
Yeah. Yep. So, question answered. So you're going to give them your recommendations. I didn't know if you're like busy, dude. If you're busy reading your Facebook page, just let me know.
You know what Titus likes to do? Like, I mean, not Titus, Tabor. It's like I'll say something and he tries to like add to it, and he was searching, and he's like, "Screw it."
I was just trying to avoid the awkward silence.
No, I loved it. I love you in awkwardness. You kind of. It's like when you're singing in your car and people catch you.
Oh yeah, you caught that. Yep.
All right, next. What do you got?
All right. Are your dinners only on Monday nights? I've been doing 1 time a month. However, I'm thinking of going to 2 dinners per month. I love the dinner new patients. I want more of them. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's great. Monday night just works. It just like, you know, I do the 15-minute fuels at 2 p.m. And what I love about you guys, you overanalyze things so much because you think I have like this magic intuition. I do it at 2 o'clock because that's the only freaking time I have to do it. You know, like my whole day, it's like I only could fit it in at 2 o'clock or like this time late at night. So it just, there's nothing special. I think do it when you can. So if you like Monday nights, great. If you like Wednesday nights, great. My friend Dave does them on Tuesdays. But the only reason why I wouldn't do Friday for me personally is the restaurant. It's usually hard to get a restaurant with a good fee. You know, Monday nights are usually slower and you get really good deals. But I'm sure if you find a great restaurant or in the area you live in, if you have a restaurant that's really cool, I think Friday nights would be cool. I mean, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah. Cool. I agree, but I'm not going to add anything to that. I'm a young student. How do we bypass the stage of getting upset when our patients don't follow care or aren't getting results?
Say it again, Tabor.
Okay. I'm a young student.
Right.
How do we bypass the stage of getting upset when our patients don't follow care or aren't getting results?
You're never going to get past it.
Yeah.
Right, Tabor?
Yep, you're exactly right.
You're never going to get past it. And that's it, man. I wish I tried to fight it because I was telling Whitney, I think when I tried to fight that emotion, I got numb. And what I did when I got numb to not care about it, the numbness, all it was doing, it was me denying my true emotion of how I really felt, and it made me completely numb as a human being. You follow? Because my numbness was my body's way of protecting me, but all it did was harm me.
Yeah.
So you can't care for people and not care and get numb. Even though I talked about living on both things, you could care, but I just say like, hey, listen, all you could do is your 50%. I always warn people about going 51%. 50-50 is the coaching game here. You do 50, they do 50. As soon as I do 51% and I step over the line and I act like the Holy Spirit in their life, I become the convictor, the counselor. You know, when I become that 1 extra %, it all collapses. So just stay on your 50% line, and they have to come to that 50% line. And you know what? Love them. Like I remember the days where I used to be like, you would know I was upset with you because you missed an adjustment. This is years ago, so if you're patient, it was not recently. And it's like, it was ridiculous because you know what? If their choice was to come in once a week when they were supposed to come in 3, it's their life, right? So am I going to not like them as a human being and love them? You know, they're still, you know, I can't force them. I don't, because it comes like a religion if you get mad at them because they didn't do something the way you wanted them to. So you become legalistic and religious in that aspect, and nothing good comes out of it. Yeah. So in what, Tabor, 12 years, and what are you doing at 10?
Yeah, 10 in August.
You still care. Of course it hurts. Because you know why it hurts? You get frustrated because you know they could be so much better. And you know my new line now, right? I'm not a perfectionist, I'm a potentialist. And when I know someone could be just that much better and they're not, or then they're missing out on their potential, I get frustrated for them.
Yeah, I agree, man. Good stuff and good questions tonight. Actually, that is the end of our questions that are posted in the live. I don't know if you have any on Facebook.
If I have any here.
Okay.
I just got people giving some thumbs up here, and everybody just we have 25 on Facebook Live. Thank you guys. Hey, on Facebook Live, if you got any questions for me, let me know. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining at the end of it. But it's just Kevin. So Kevin Jackson joined. Kevin, give me a question.
And we have, let's see, we have 17 that are logged into the chat role on the live page. Here's a question. Just got it. I am a student less than a year out from graduating. I'm currently interning for a doc who does dinners, and lately I've been doing the closing after the talk. If people don't sign up, usually excuses are, I don't have time or I don't have the money. I know I can handle these questions better than I'm doing. What are some tips to help me build value?
It's in the story. So who is it? Is his name there?
Yeah, it is Kyle Silverson.
All right, so Kyle, you know, the first thing, what's your greatest asset? It's your health. The second question is, what is health? It's 100% function. The third question should be, so what controls function? Your nervous system. So if your brain and your nervous system control function and health in the body, what's the area that we need to be looking to, taking care of, correcting, and then maintaining through our entire life? What system? Spinal nervous system. How many people need to be doing that? They're like, everybody. I go, when's the best time to start? They're like, now. I go, even better. They're like, yesterday. I go, because if you were leaking money out of your bank account or overpaying a bill, when would you want to find that out? And they're like, now. When would you want to fix it? Now. Even more important, if you have a disease process that is robbing inches, weeks, and years from your life right now, causing destruction, when would you want to find it and know it? And they're like, now. When do you want to fix it? They're like, now. There you go.
Yep.
And then, so that's it. And then I go right into the close. So I did my part, right? 50%, 50%.
Yep.
And then their jobs, and then right into, so take out the sheet of paper. Here's the gift. Here's a sheet of paper. This, like Tabor said, you explain visit 1, visit 2. You explain everything. Spouse has to be there. Explain it all. And then you just go through it and you guide them. And you remember, closing a person is not selling. You're walking them through the doorway, or you're walking them through the journey to having a better life on the other side. So that's what I'm doing there. That's what closing would be. I'm carrying them through the process to have a much better life and not have to go through what we just spoke in the dinner the whole time. And then you do the offer. This is what it is, and they do it. And some days, there's some weeks I have 110% close. There's some weeks I have 15 people show up to the dinner and 11 close. There's sometimes where we have 80 people and 10.
Right. Yep.
It's singles, doubles, triples, homers, and grand slams. It's fine. And punts. It's fine. Or no, is it, what you call it? That's not a punt. It's a bunt. Sorry about that.
Yeah, bunt. Yeah, in baseball.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Again, you're worried about it. So how about this? Let me change the perception. Instead of telling me about the people and their excuses, tell me about the people who are coming in.
Yeah, focus on them.
It's the same amount of energy, right, Tabor? I could talk about the person who didn't sign, or I could talk about the person who is changing life. How about this? I just want to tell you guys, I had a patient cancel, and I felt so bad. I was so upset. I was talking to Dr. Travis. This is where I get upset. He canceled because he wasn't allowed to come and leave the house to go to a chiropractor. And I said, that was an odd answer. He wasn't allowed to leave to go to a chiropractor, to the appointment. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, he's a grown man. I'm like, oh my God, does this guy have he's under house arrest. This guy at 19 years old, he committed some type of crime. He was in his 30s. So it was probably murder, right? Probably murder or something like that for 20 years, right? It has to be something close to murder. Still under house arrest or can't leave the house. And I'm like, I was so upset. I'm like, here's this guy. He's living the consequences of something he did at 19. But you know what? He went to the dinner. He heard the truth, and he wanted to better himself. Just think of all the people who won't better themselves. And here's a guy who made some mistakes, and all he wants to do is be validated and become a better person, and the system's holding him down. So I just show you, I'm digressed to the system, but here's a guy who wants to just become better.
Yeah.
There's people who don't. And here's a guy who has an ankle bracelet, and he just wants to make a difference in his life to become a better person, and the system won't let him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
you never get past that feeling of frustration,
Yeah.
Let me ask one more question before we go here, because I skipped over this one and then he posted again. So what areas were you most incongruent in years ago, and how you abandon that scarcity mindset? Example would be insurance-based care, accepting the wrong patient, shortening your care plans to increase acceptance. How'd you get past that?
Wow, that was a great question. What are my incongruencies? What are my incongruencies? Dude, I would be lying to tell you that I was totally congruent. So my incongruency would be taking insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was easy when all they had to pay was $500 a year. Whitney's on here. Imagine $500 for the year, and they chose to do payments. You ever been there, Tabor?
Yep.
Right? So it was like free.
Right.
So that was incongruent, because I would say that's probably because then I was doing the rehab and they would have to be on 5 minutes and they weren't on 5 minutes. So I realized, I'm like, man, I'm definitely riding the line here. And I remember a couple good friends of mine got audited, and that's when I just didn't like that stressful feeling anymore. So, and I realized that I didn't have to. I could bring my C game and everybody would sign up. I remember Whitney would tell you, we would have 100 people becoming patients a month. Not new patients, 100 people sign up for care.
Wow.
Or 120. Imagine that, because, hey, you know, I'd get, how do we do tonight? 16 people signed up.
Wow.
But we didn't realize, you know, it was $500, it was $1,000, you know, your insurance took care of most of it. So that was the thing. So the scary part was when I dropped the insurance, it forced me to raise how to bring value. But you see, I can't tell you how to raise your value unless I put you in the situation. So I could teach you that other question before, how to raise value in your care, right? Zaino, how'd you bring up urgency and value? You know how you bring up urgency and value? I go in your office and I take away all your insurance and I take away all your shiny objects, and you just got to know, I take away your x-ray machine. How about that? Or whatever, or all your testing kits, and you got to go speak 100. All you have to rely on is the truth of the principal chiropractic, and that's the only thing you can rely on to make someone a patient.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Because you're stripped bare, so all you have to do, you have to make it work. So that's why I wish I could coach. That's why I'm not a coach. I can't tell you the easy things to say. You got to experience, holy cow, I am deep crap if I don't raise my game and raise my way of communicating.
Right.
So you have to be, you know what I mean? Like you have to, it's the pendulum. I have to bring you here, right? Feel the nerve to swing back and to rock. So I really believe when we said no more insurance, so this is what I did. So we dropped insurance in one day. Insurance is gone. And Whitney says, we said, we're going to drop insurance and raise our price. And that forced me, they created a polarizing situation of adversity for me to say, wow, now I'm scared. What are they going to say about if I don't take their insurance? And holy cow, I feel nervous now because that care plan is expensive for me. Remember that? The $6,000. So I had an expensive care plan and no insurance all in one shot. And that adversity, I had to either rise to the occasion or shut the doors. And as you can see, it turned out really good.
Yep.
But see, I had to put myself in the situation. See, Tabor, you can't put me in that situation by talking to me. I have to literally physically be in that situation to then what? Become resourceful and be resilient and push through and do it.
Yep. Awesome. Great question. Great answer. That's all we got over here. And looks like it's about 8:40. So
thank you guys for a 1-year celebration.
Yay. Let me see. Give you a hug.
Okay.
Hug. Let me
down. All right. So just in closing statements, where we go, make sure you watch episode 2 of We Are Heroes. It's on. Go to Dr. Zaino. It's on Chiro Thought Leaders, I share, but go to Dr. Zaino Facebook page, Chiro Thought Leaders Facebook page. Watch it. If you guys listen, if you're not watching it, you have no clue on how awesome it is. It's like this is not like Chiro stuff. This is like awesome documentary movie type stuff. You're gonna get one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make it a part of your routine. I'm gonna be like, so right. So Monday you're waiting for it. Wednesday and Friday, always around noon, we'll release it Central. Every single day, I have the 15-minute fuels with myself, and be a part of those. You can ask any question you want, just like we're doing here. Wednesday nights we do these, of course. But the I Am Hero or the We Are Hero, how are we doing? I Am Hero, Tabor? Did they ever call you?
No, I'm calling them back tomorrow because they were supposed to call the owners to find out if we can get it or not. So
the We Are Hero show, I mean, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're gonna love this stuff. And it's that 8 to 10 minutes. It's just perfect in length. It's enough. I'm telling you, 8 to 10 minutes is enough where you're gonna want more. It's like one bite of a cookie. You just want more, but I'm not gonna give you more to win. So it's just enough. You have the time. It's like if you watch it in the bathroom, it's 8 to 10 minutes, and you're gonna really enjoy it and love it. And thank you so much for your feedback, what you've been doing. Thanks for your questions. Send me questions or comments because your questions give us content. And thanks so much, Tabor, for doing this with us.
Awesome. My pleasure. I'm going to give a big round of applause to everybody. Thanks for being on. All right. So happy 1-year anniversary, and it's going to be a great next 52 episodes as well. So thanks all for being here. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.